Hey guys, I just got back from Tulum. It's a Saturday and I have lots of work to do, but I thought I would film a little vlog during the day, just showing a few things I'm getting up to and little bits and pieces about what I'm eating. I might throw a little bit of diet talk in there, and yeah, just make this a little bit of a fun video. So I got home and I finally got my Ryderwear package. So I thought I would just open it up and show you some of the pieces that I got. What do you think of my alpaca top? It is honestly my favorite thing ever. I mean, look at it. It is the best. Woo! Okay, so this is the new Ryderwear Seamless in a new range of colours, which I'm really excited about. So I think we've got the hot pink marl and the emerald marl. So it's like I think it's the gemstone colours. Woohoo! And they've sent me the little shorties. So nice. Love that. And I've also got that in a legging. Fancy, as Liz would say. That's a really nice green, I love it. So I might try these on. I might actually wear this little set while I make my green smoothie because I am ravenous. I've just got back from the gym and my hair is wet. I've had a shower, feeling really clean, ready to take on my day, but I need something in my belly first. So yeah, this is the seamless set. You do need to wear seamless undies with this, but I couldn't be bothered changing my knickers for this demo. So yeah, really cute emerald green colour. I am digging it. And now it's time to make my smoothie. Very happy days. Let's go get it. So, this fridge looks cool, but it's so difficult to open. This is just some of the stuff I'm going to be putting in my smoothie. I've got the bananas, which are frozen. I've got frozen mango. Usually I would like to use fresh mango, but I didn't have time to freeze all of that. I've got some green apples, put a little bit of honey, and some spinach. And then I've also been putting this from Tropicia. I don't know why I keep calling it Tropicia, it's Tropica. I've got to get it right, it's embarrassing. It's tastier than it looks, I promise. Green smoothie, hashtag health. So good. Hey guys, so I thought I would just take a few minutes. I think I will say a few minutes, but it will probably be a lot longer than that. It'll probably be like 20 minutes and then I'll have to yell at myself for blabbering on for too long. Anyway, I thought I would take a few minutes to talk about diet culture. So it is something that I have been talking a lot about, not just on YouTube, but on my Instagram. And I have received a lot of questions about it. So I thought I would just do a little segment now to answer some questions you guys have, because I know it can be quite overwhelming. And I want to just clear up a few things for you as well. The main thing, I suppose the main issue I know a lot of you might have with me not prescribing to diet culture anymore is the fact that I still have a fitness app. Now, I don't actually believe that a fitness app and diet culture cannot coexist. I do believe that a fitness app and diet and being anti-diet culture can coexist together. I think it just depends the way this fitness app is promoted, and it depends on the message. For us, it's all about, okay, we're keeping the same content, we've still got the same great recipes, we've still got the same great exercises and programming, and you know what, if you do want to get really great results, you will get great results because the programming and the methodology is brilliant, it's excellent, it's all amazing, but that's not our message. So originally when we started this, our message that I wanted working with MG to be is that there's so much BS in the fitness industry, there's so many waist trainers and hunger suppressing lollipops and diet teas, and you don't know. And I just want to clear it all up for you. This is what works, this is what you need to do, no more BS, I got you. And I think that's great. I think lots of people are doing that now, which is awesome. There's so many people out there who are actually telling the truth about fitness and fat loss and what for instance, like how to get a flat stomach. It's not three exercises, it's still a calorie deficit. So people are talking about it, but what people aren't talking about is the reality of diets, and that, yeah, you can get a flat stomach through a calorie deficit, but 95% of the time, it won't actually last. So that's the kind of bit that people don't mention at the end of the sentence. And that's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to focus on. We don't want to be negative and yelling it at you in like a negative way. It's supposed to be like a positive thing that, hey, you don't actually have to subscribe to this diet culture. You can just be happy the way you are right now because you're perfect. That's the message that we want to be. That's the message that we want to be promoting, and I am here for it. So, by the way, my green smoothie is really nice, and you can be anti-diet culture and still enjoy drinking green smoothies in your activewear. Like, that's okay. I think like it has been a bit of a struggle for me because I do still enjoy fitness. I do still enjoy working out, and I kind of felt like, oh no, like, am I against the establishment? Am I betraying us? But I'm realizing, no, that's not it at all. It's really depends on what the message is that you promote, and also how you feel and what you think when you do work out. For instance, I always used to work out, I always used to think, I want to change my body, and I'd be working out and I'd be thinking about my quads getting bigger, I'd be thinking about my butt getting bigger, I'd be thinking about my abs becoming more defined, I'd be thinking about the girl that I wanted to look like, the person that I wanted to be. Now I do not think about that at all. I had the best session today at the gym. I had Beyonce on. I know it's really like generalized and whatever, but listening to Beyonce when you work out is honestly the best thing, especially Who Run the World Girls. It's honestly my favorite workout song. I just felt so empowered when I was working out. I honestly felt amazing. I felt strong. I felt capable. I felt great because I had all these endorphins going through my body. Just felt like a boss. I felt good. And that for me is the feeling that I want to promote to people, and the reason why I want people to work out. It's not so that you can grow your butt, it's so that you can just feel really great, because it does feel good. And there's so much more that needs to go into it, because I know that not everyone can work out, not everyone can afford a gym, not everyone feels comfortable in a gym. If you are a fat person going to the gym, it is a really uncomfortable experience. So I do understand that as well, and it is difficult kind of having this message, because it's not black and white. It's not like if you work out in the gym, you're gonna feel great. That's not the message either. It's really nuanced, it's really complicated, and there's so many different structures and details and components to this message, and I'm just trying to unravel it myself. So yeah, I hope you're here with me for it. I'm glad if you're still watching this at this point, and I'm just gonna answer maybe like 10 of your questions that I have been receiving that are quite common. Okay, so one of the questions I've received quite a lot is this one. Why and how did your change in perspective come about? So, it was really gradual, to be honest. I think I was opposed to it at the start, and I didn't want to really open my heart and my mind to the possibility of a diet culture and what it actually meant for people. I think it made me feel uncomfortable. When something makes you feel uncomfortable, you don't want to consider it. I think I also generally felt like I was helping people. I did feel like there's so much BS out there in the fitness industry. I was one of the good guys. I was a good fitspo. I was doing the right things. I wasn't telling you do 10 burpees and then you're going to get abs. I was preaching, I think, the right message to people, and I didn't feel like I was lying to anyone. I think I was just looking for any kind of sign that I was on the right path and that I didn't have to give it up, because it was comfortable, it was safe, I knew what it meant, and it was really scary. Like, I have spent, I can't even tell you, like, I'm not even going to tell you how much money I have put into my app. It is hundreds and thousands of dollars. I spent hundreds and thousands of dollars on my business. I spent the same amount that I could have bought a house in this time. I haven't bought a house because I've been putting it all into my app. And it was so scary to think, oh my God, I'm changing my whole views, my whole ideas, my whole world are being turned upside down. I can't afford to do this. Diet culture is a $60 billion industry, and I'm trying to sell what? Like, just be happy with your body. No one's going to buy anything from me. Like, there was that real fear, and I just couldn't accept it. It was really hard. Like, if I'm talking about it now, like, I just didn't want to. Like, why would I? It was too hard. It was much easier to just stay in my own lane and keep doing what I was doing, because I could still convince myself that I wasn't part of the problem. I was helping the problem. That's what I could convince myself. But eventually, I just couldn't stop convincing myself anymore. I couldn't truly believe that, I don't know, I suppose I couldn't truly believe that I supported and that I wanted to be the best person for, like, all people, no matter, like, your size. If I was constantly telling you and promoting this diet culture, I just didn't want to be that person anymore. I read this article, and I'd read it a few times, and I had read it a few times, and the final time I read it, I think I was just like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. It felt ethically wrong for me to continue to promote diet culture, and I didn't want to be part of it. Even if, and this is what I was like, even if it meant that I would lose a big amount of followers, and I wouldn't make any money from my business because there's no money in it. It's really scary, but you kind of have to make that decision at one point in your life and figure out what you stand for, what your heart is telling you to do, and the kind of person that you want to be. And I don't want to be that person anymore. That's basically it, you know? And I couldn't continue to live that way and promote this lifestyle of calorie deficits once I learned that diets don't work. People say it all the time, but does it really mean anything? And the science really hit me, you know, that 95% of diets don't work. You can Google this fact anywhere. It's quite common knowledge. It's been around for a long time. In fact, the study that I found this from it's a meta study, which means they studied 32 other studies over a minimum of 2+ years. So each study has to have gone for longer than 2 years to be counted as relevant. And they studied 32 of those and then put it into one study. And they found that in the majority of cases, diets don't work. So how could I, a fitness influencer, somebody that is affecting the lives of thousands and thousands of women, still be preaching the fact that I'm telling you that diets work. And I don't mean fad diets, I mean any diet that you're on where you're restricting yourself. That's a diet. It's not just a fad diet if it's a lemon detox diet. It's a diet if you're counting your macros and you're counting your calories and you're trying to lose weight. That's a diet. You're on a diet if you're trying to lose weight, okay? So yeah, any tips for people wanting to go on the same journey that I've been on? My biggest tip would be that you have to really open your heart. You have to really empathize, because I think once you can truly empathize and see yourself in another person and really feel for that person's struggle and journey, then you can be ready to go on, ready to ditch diet culture. So yeah, I think I've answered that question in some sort of way, but yeah, I want to get into the next one. Do you feel it's easier to preach that since you have an acceptable body? No hate. So she's saying, do you feel it's easier to preach like F your diet because I am thin? And yes, 100%, it is way easier for me to say this. I am already thin, so it's very easy for me to say, who cares about your diet? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, of course it's easy for me to say that because I walk outside my door and I have no pressure to diet because I'm already within ideal. So that it's so easy for me to say this. And I do honestly think, like, you know, if you are learning about this message from me, that's great. I'm really happy to be that person to be there for you and helping with this message. But this was not, I didn't create this message, I didn't create this movement, and it's not mine to co-opt. It's not my space. So, and I think as well, you will also feel a lot better hearing it from somebody who, you know, who is fat, who actually is struggling with these issues, and not just from another thin white woman. So definitely go out and read books and follow women who have experienced, who have actually gone through what I have said, but in their own lives, and they're actually experienced as a fat person, not as a thin person, because it will mean a lot more coming from them than it will coming from me. I will give you like a list of like all the people who I found really helpful within the fat positive and fat activism community on Instagram, and other great books. I'll put it all in the description below for you to read. Do you feel bad for promoting it without a qualification? It's okay. So I get annoyed at this question because whenever I was talking about living a healthy, balanced lifestyle and going on a calorie deficit to lose weight, no one asked me if I was a nutritionist. No one asked to see my qualifications. And it's frustrating now that people are asking me this when I am saying, hey, eat a donut. Everyone's saying, all right, where's your qualification to tell someone to eat a donut? The truth is, and this is like the legal, like what I'm actually allowed to do as a personal trainer and as just like a general person, I'm allowed to talk about food. I'm allowed to discuss intuitive eating. I am allowed to have an opinion on food. What I'm not allowed to do is write an actual meal plan for you personally and provide you with specific nutritional advice, and I'm not doing that. So if you, that's it. That's the answer to that question basically, because it'd be nice if I didn't have to just go on and on and on about that question, because it's really annoying. Okay, I get this one a lot. And this is really common and I totally get it. Okay, honestly, can you be fit and still eat what you want? So I'm assuming what you mean by that question and by the word fit is thin or in shape or, you know, still look good, basically, still look like, you're basically saying that I want to still have a flat stomach, but I still want to be able to eat what I want. So the whole point of intuitive eating isn't that you get to eat what you want and stay thin, it's so great. It's not about that at all. It's not about getting thin. If you want to lose fat, this is not the video for you. I'm not going to tell you how to lose fat. This is not it. There's so many videos out there. If that's really what you want to do, if you want to be one of the 95% that fails on your diet, if you think you might be the 5% that doesn't, this isn't the video for you. There's so many videos out there about fat loss and how to stay thin if you want to be thin. That's not what we're here for. That's not the space. That's not the space that I'm creating. Intuitive eating is about eating what you want, when you want, like whatever you want, and with no guilt associated with it. It's about listening to your internal cues. It's about listening to your hunger cues, listening to yourself when you're full. It's not about guilting yourself or having any sort of shame about your body and about what you want to eat. It's trying to take back all those years of hurtful diet culture and make it so that you just listen to your body. Like when you were like a little kid, you would just eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full. We're supposed to be kind of going back to that, because we used to be able to do that. We used to be able to have these internal cues, and then we got all effed up. So the point is that your physical appearance this is not the aim of intuitive eating, is to create a certain type of look, and you can eat what you want based on that look. If you're still confused and you're still thinking, but I really want to look a certain way, or there's nothing wrong with wanting to look a certain way, I would suggest that you read The Beauty Myth by Naomi Wolf. It's a great book. It explores basically the currency of beauty and why we have been grown up to feel that we have to be beautiful and what we need to do. I think what I want to encourage more is, looking at the value in other things apart from our body, instead of thinking to yourself, I really want to grow my butt. What's some really great exercises for that? Why don't you ask me, I really want to start a business. What are your 3 tips for starting a business? Or my friend is really upset because she's going through a breakup. What are some things I can do to help her? Thinking about, instead of just thinking about what I can do to fix in my body, thinking about things that we can actually do for our friends, for our family, for ourselves, to make ourselves better human beings. And it's not just focused on what we can do to our physical shells, because that's just one small part of us. There's so much more that we're made up of that is important, and it's not just your physical appearance. And again, I understand it's easy for me to say that. Remember, if you don't want to listen to me, you can listen to somebody else about this, because there are plenty of other people who say the same messages that I do, and it'll probably feel a lot better coming from them. I will leave any video links that I have below, and any books, Instagrams for you to follow as well. Okay, so this could honestly go on forever because there was that many questions, but I don't want to turn this video into an hour-long video. So I'm just going to finish up with one last one, which I think might be a little bit controversial. No, maybe, I'm not sure. I have received this question a lot in my DMs, but I haven't received it as a direct question to this. But I thought I would address it because it's something I have been thinking about. And that is the feeling of people asking me, like, how do you feel talking about this stuff when no one really in your fitness industry is talking about this? And now, I'm not the only one talking about this. There are people talking about this. But generally, like, out of like all my fitness friends, like I have a lot of friends who are in fitness, and not one of them is talking about this. And it is tricky, but you know what? I'm not being a martyr and saying they have to start talking about this. It's so important. Why aren't they doing it? I understand that it's a long journey. I've just turned 30. It's taken me a really long time to get here, and it might take them a long time to get here, or they might never want to, and that's okay. It's what is difficult is, I think, maintaining friendships with people who have really different views than you, because it is hard, because I do talk about it a lot and they talk about their stuff a lot, and so it feels like we're like being pinned against each other, kind of, in a way, and it can be really difficult. I think it's like anything though. If the person is truly like a good friend to you, has been there for you, has supported you through your life, then these sort of things, that should just be, hopefully it can just be something that you choose to disagree on. That's something that they believe, that's something that you believe. But if the friendship is just really made up of nothing, it's just made up of Instagram, and you've maybe only met once or twice, and there's no real history there, it's just made up because of the fact, oh, you've got 1 million followers, I've got 1 million followers, let's be friends, then I don't think that relationship, those friendships will last. And I have noticed that I haven't been receiving any comments or DMs, I haven't been receiving a lot of comments or DMs of people who are in that industry saying this is great, love it, because why would they say that? They don't love it. So it has been like a bit like, oh, like I feel like, oh, I'm saying, like I don't like confrontation, and I feel like sometimes I hate confrontation. I hate it so much. I will do anything to avoid it. And I feel really awkward like saying this stuff, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm like really, like what if this person sees this and thinks something's like directed at them, I'm talking about them and I'm being mean about them and their business, and oh, I feel bad. But for me, at the end of the day, like this message is more important than me feeling bad if I'm going to hurt their feelings or not. And I think if they have a strong belief as I do in their own message, which I'm sure they do, then they'll be fine. Just like I'll be fine, because I feel once you feel like, yes, like this is the truth, this is my truth, this is what I believe with all my heart, with all my soul, then nothing can really affect you. Because no matter what anyone says to me, no matter what anything else I read, my mind has already been made up. I've seen, and the thing is, the crazy thing is as well, like I've been on both sides, so I feel like I'm actually in quite a good position to make a good judgment based on this, because I have really been through it all. I've only really started this diet culture stuff in the last few months. I was in diet culture for a good 3 years, so I feel like I'm a good judge of saying that diet culture is BS. Anyway, I think it's time for us to go get some lunch and chat soon. We're gonna get falafels. There's this best little falafel place just around the corner from our house, so yummy. Okay, so I'm just heading out now to pick up my falafels. Sid's a bit tired, so he's gonna stay home and I'm just gonna go and grab him. But I changed to the leggings so that I didn't offend any of the locals here. And I've got a little Ryderwear top on. And it's so cute, this outfit. I'm loving it. But these leggings are so cool. So, just going now. I have spent the last half an hour writing a lot of angry messages to people on my Instagram. Sometimes I look at them and I'm like, oh my God, am I being a bit aggressive? I should probably not say that. But sometimes I just get really, really mad. And a lot of it has to do with the fact I think a lot of people can get on board my anti-diet message. There's definitely, so let's say I've got like 100% of people. I would say maybe like 70% of the people can be like, yes, this is awesome, we love it, I'm all for it. 30% are like, this is stupid, you're an idiot. And then out of that 70%, there is still a huge amount of fat phobia going on. So there's still a huge amount of people that say, yeah, anti-diet, but you must make sure that you're still thin, because if you're fat, then it's bad. And you're missing the point. If you want to be anti-diet culture, you have to also be pro-fat acceptance. You have to be anti-fat phobia. You cannot be both. You can't be anti-diet, but also fat phobic. It doesn't work like that. So if you are, I have got people who are, supporting me as being like, I love this new anti-diet message, but I just can't get on board. You support fat people. Basically, that's what they're saying. And if you can't get on board, then that's fine, but you don't say that you're part of anti-diet culture, because you're not. The whole point of diet culture is that it elevates thinness, and that thinness is the point in society that we all should be aiming towards. And so if you are still elevating thinness, then you are still playing into diet culture. You need to be accepting of all fat people, small fats, thin fats, big fats, super fats, any fats, like it doesn't matter how fat. And it's got nothing to, you don't have any, you've got to decide which line of the fence you want to stand on. And if you really are ready to give up diet culture, because I think a lot of you're not. So I think it is hard. And I know, like, I'm not trying to be like this martyr saying like, you have to do this, you have to do that, and I'm such a good person. But let's just be real about what it actually means to be anti-diet. It doesn't mean to be only accepting of people up to a certain size. It's accepting of all people. So with that in mind, let's go get a falafel. Got my food. Cannot wait. Yummy. Mama, I've got. I never know how to say it. Cannelloni. Got cannelloni for dinner. A little Coke. Watching the game. It's City. Well, what could you want, right?
Hello.
Hello.
Curry on to Jordan Valley.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Where's my cannelloni?
I just ordered it for me, not for you.
There we go.
Okay, I'm gonna go now. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. YouTube, whatever. Say bye, babe.
Bye now.
Tell them to subscribe.
Okay.
Bye.